Thanks for staying with us at STL Live. I'm Sarah Thompson, and my guest today is Mike Panicola. He is the CEO and president of Epworth Children and Family Services, and I appreciate you being here today, and thank you for that intro into Epworth and kind of giving an overview, even though it was just a fraction, just touching on all the work that you do. Now we're going to kind of move into your big fundraiser of the year. This is the 17th annual wine, dinner, and auction. Tell me about some of the details for it.
Sure. So I should preface this by saying I'm fairly new to the organization, but I have participated in wine dinner previously as a donor and partner of Epworth. So this is our marquee fundraising event. It's a great time. It's November 9th. It's at the Ritz-Carlton. It begins at 6 o'clock. There's music, there's fun, there's a live auction, there's great wines. You know, there's a wonderful 4-course meal, so it's not your traditional program, charitable event with a chicken dinner or something. So
no chicken dinners.
No chicken dinner.
Well, we've got some photos too, because the meals, you've got the wine pairings. Yeah. Wine's obviously a big part of this. And so people can go. You mentioned live music, auction, and what is this all benefiting? Yeah,
sure. We're fortunate, first of all, to recognize our tremendous partners and donors. But ultimately, what we'd like to do with the money that we raise this year is we have a legacy program called Residential Treatment Services. And so we have a residential program where kids come and stay with us for a fairly lengthy time, 24/7, 365. And we really want that environment to be a safe, healing, trauma-informed space. So we're going to take a portion of the funding and do a complete redesign of our buildings, because as I said in the first segment, the buildings, they were created or erected in the 1940s. So they're beautiful from the outside, but they need a lot of work on the inside. And again, we want to make them trauma-informed for our team members as well as our kids.
Well, I want to actually follow up on that trauma-informed environment. You mentioned this to me off camera when we before we started the segment. What does that mean?
So essentially, the children and youth who we see have all experienced trauma on some level. So essentially, it's in our approach to them, whether it be the physical space we provide, how we talk with them, how we provide consequences for behaviors, that it's always trauma-informed so that we don't re-traumatize. Now, I have a lot to learn in this area, but I have learned significant amounts already from my really just esteemed colleagues at Epworth. But it really is important that we don't re-traumatize the kids we're serving and providing care to.
No, I think that's a really important point. So basically, everything that's the proceeds, what's raised at the dinner, are going to go towards this. I also want to kind of come up on something that I see a lot in the materials, which is the focus on self-sufficiency. And sort of explain a little bit more about that, because sometimes we think about services that are provided to whether they're youth or families as just being sort of stopgap or fixing something, but really about self-sufficiency. What is the key and I know you've only been in the position for a few months, but what is the key that that Epworth does that helps and completes that sort of pathway to self-sufficiency?
Yeah, so I mean, if you think about that goal, it's a pretty broad goal, but it's very important because we're not creating dependence. We're helping people change their conditions so that they can change their lives. Ultimately, I think our interactions are lifelong. They're not episodic. So what we're trying to do is teach people daily living skills, how to cope with adversity, how to fend for themselves. So essentially, self-sufficiency is this more holistic thing, how to reintegrate into community and become socially connected and build a network so that one day when our services stop, that they're able to take care of themselves within the context of a loving and supportive community.
No,
does that, I mean...
That makes absolute sense, and I think that's a really key point to make, because sometimes people, I think, only think of multi-service agencies as providing a service to different types of people, but not that it's for the long term and self-sufficiency. So I appreciate you explaining that, and thanks for the fun details about the wine and dinner event. We've got them on the screen.
You're welcome to come.
Thank you. Well, we've got it on the screen. It's the 17th annual wine dinner and auction. This is a big fundraiser for Epworth Children and Family Services. It's taking place November 9th at 6 p.m. at the Ritz-Carlton St. Louis, right there in downtown Clayton. For more information to attend the event or just to learn about Epworth, you can head to their website, epworth.org, or call the number 314-961-5718. And thank you again for being here. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, well, there's more STL Live right after this. Please stay with us.